Hey everyone, and thanks for jumping back into the cryptoverse. Today, we're going to talk about Ethereum and the pullback that we saw earlier today. If you guys like the content, make sure you subscribe to the channel, give the video a thumbs up, and also check out the Telegram channel, which you can find a link to in the description below. Let's go ahead and jump in. Now, this is actually really interesting because Bitcoin has dropped all the way down to about 41,000 and then came back up to approximately 48,000. And right now it's above the 50-week moving average. So again, we're going to talk about Ethereum in the video, but just to get our basis here, Bitcoin is below the bull market support band, but it's still above the 50-week SMA. We still have time to get above the bull market support band by the end of the week. And if we do close below it, we would then like to get above it the next week if possible. If not, we have some consolidating to do at some of these prices here. But look, I think everything still is relatively intact. What's interesting though is Ethereum. Look, Ethereum. I mean, look, it had a pretty bad crash. I'm not going to say that it didn't. If you go look at the weekly time frame, we watched Ethereum go all the way down to what, $3,400. Okay, so Ethereum crashed to the prices it saw in mid-October. But look, on the daily time frame right now, we were at this price literally last week. Ethereum was at this price. Okay, so sometimes we need to have a little bit of perspective on the market. Okay, have a little bit of perspective. We were at these prices last week. I'm not saying we can't go down. I'm not saying that. But the idea that this is a crash for Ethereum, I mean, honestly, this is just business as usual. Ethereum is still, in fact, above its bull market support band. Now, if Bitcoin continues to push lower and lower, then yeah, we understand that all bets are off. But right now, Ethereum's looking relatively strong against the US dollar, even with that pullback. I mean, the bull market support band is around $3,600. Ethereum right now is at 4K. So we have some wiggle room there. More importantly, though, we should go look at the Ether Bitcoin valuation. Okay? Because look, I mean, it's still looking extremely strong despite the pullback. So Ethereum is a solid play. I think it's a blue chip for a crypto portfolio. And, you know, right now it's putting in new local highs. It's not putting in all-time highs. We'd have to go all the way back to like 0.15 or something to get there. But it is looking relatively strong. And we'll see how ultimately high it can go. All right, so Ethereum sort of kind of carrying the weight of the market on its shoulders right now, continuing to push higher against Bitcoin by about 11% this week. So Ether Bitcoin still looks relatively good, and you know, we'll see what transpires here on the weekly close. But look, Ethereum is above 4K, right? It's above 4K. If we go look at the short-term bubble risk on Ethereum, yeah, I mean, we're still close to the 20-week moving average, as we know. But also, I'd like to remind you that we do get these phases of long sideways action for Ethereum, right? Like we've seen this many times before. It can last a long time before you really get that decisive break to the upside. We saw it over here in 2015. We had a nice move up. It was a relatively quicker impulse than we had this past time, but a relatively quick move up, and then we went sideways for a while and then back up. We came up at the angle of attack was not as high, and then sideways for a while. I do think we'll go up again, but we just haven't reached that phase yet, right? We haven't reached that phase. We're still in what I would consider long consolidation. And, you know, I don't think we're going to go up to these prices up here, certainly. But I would argue that Ethereum is still very much in long sideways accumulation, long consolidation. I know it's scary right now. I'm not trying to minimize that. I'm not trying to blow smoke or anything like that. But Ethereum still looks relatively strong. It's still at $4,000, and this literally is a price we were at last week. Okay, even the wick only took us down to prices we saw last month. Ethereum, I mean, right now it's actually above the prior weekly close from the all-time high in May. So Ethereum still looks relatively strong. I would argue that it's a solid play to have in your portfolio. A lot of altcoins bleed against Ethereum. Ethereum's a blue chip. The technology is great. It's holding up well against Bitcoin. It's holding up well against the US dollar despite the circumstances. Don't forsake Ethereum. Okay, so yes, we had a flash crash with the asset class as a whole. As we've said before, we're likely not having a parabolic Q4, right? We're probably not having a parabolic Q4 for the asset class, even though a lot of people, I imagine those people still don't think it's going to happen, but look, we have ways to go. I think we still have a ways to go. We'll see what happens as we get in some of these weekly closes, see where Bitcoin ends up, see where Ethereum ends up. We'll regroup. Hopefully we can keep consolidating and ultimately push higher. If you guys like the content, make sure you subscribe to the channel, give the video a thumbs up. Also check out the premium list at intothecryptoverse.com. Thank you guys for tuning in. I'll see you next time. Bye.